Hey everyone, I'm sorry. I did not hit the record button. This is a little new to me. Um, so anyway, what I was saying is I just wanted to thank everyone for coming that was able to come tonight to our very first Zoom meeting for Freedom and Passive Income. And I just want to start by giving some background on who I am and what the mission of my company is. So my name is Ronette Jemison, and I'm the owner and founder of Freedom and Passive Income. And our mission is to provide financial literacy and coaching to help you transition from paycheck to paycheck to freedom and passive income. And I'll tell you a little bit about what qualifies me to be a financial coach and provide financial literacy. I do have a bachelor's degree in business finance, and I've taken graduate level courses to get my designation as a chartered financial consultant. And I'm only one exam away from being a licensed financial planner. And to be honest with you, it is something that I declined to proceed with because I don't really want to become a financial planner. Financial planners, the licensed financial planners, their objective is to give you specific advice on certain securities and certain investments and how you should, structure your portfolio. And so it's that type of thing. And I really feel like financial planning for most people is really a premature step, because I would probably say, and I think I'm pretty confident to say that 95% of us do not have or did not grow up with any type of financial literacy. We've basically been told what to do, but we've never really been told why we should do those things and what we should expect, what the end result should be. We haven't been taught how money works, and we haven't been taught a lot of the things that's really reducing our cash flow and reducing our opportunity to create a passive income so that we can capture back our time. And so I just wanted to share that with you, that's pretty much the reason why I decided I wanted to take a different route. I'm kind of toying with the idea of taking the exam to get my license, just because there are a couple of investments that I might recommend to people, but it's nothing I would, nothing that I feel is really important right now. I think the most important thing is to provide people with financial literacy and basically a roadmap to what they need to do and help them understand how money works and where we are right now. So one of the things that a lot of people don't understand when they're generating income with a job, or most people that have an employer, they have to complete a W-4 form and you get a paycheck, and you're basically exchanging your time for money. And so before you even get your check, most of us are in a disadvantage, because our income is immediately being attacked by what I call death by a thousand cuts. You've heard of the phrase death by a thousand cuts. I call it theft by a thousand cuts, because the very first thing that most people are not aware of, I take it back. Most people are aware of it, but they don't understand how insidious it is, and that is not normal. Most people don't understand that, about 100 years ago, maybe 150 years ago, there was no inflation at all. So we went, centuries without having any inflation, where if you saved your money, it would purchase the exact same thing, in 1 year, and then it would purchase the exact same thing 100 years later that it did 100 years before. That's how I wanted to say that. And so most people, they don't understand that, because we've been brought up with inflation, and that's just how it is, and that's just normal, and it's absolutely not normal at all. And inflation is when there's more currency circulating in our system than what there was before. So you have more paper dollars or digital dollars that are being attached to tangible assets than before. And as time goes on, things tend to cost more. But our incomes are not increasing at the same rate. And so, back in the 50s, it was normal for a mother to be able to stay at home with her children while the husband, the father worked, and he could create a comfortable middle class lifestyle for his family with only on one income. You can't do that these days. You have to have two incomes. And so that's the very first cut, that I think people need to be aware of. The next thing are the next cut would be your taxes, and our taxes reduce our take-home pay, and it reduces our what I call an opportunity cost. And so the tax system is designed to benefit those that are business owners. So if your only source of income is employment, then you don't get the benefits of those tax deductions that a business owner gets. And so you're having to forfeit your income in that way. Then the other thing is that a lot of people, most people look forward to a tax refund at the end of the year. But what you're doing is, by loaning money to the government and just letting them have that money for an entire year, the government is taking your money and they're loaning it out, and they're doing different programs and things like that. And you're not getting the benefit. You're giving them an interest-free loan. You're not getting any benefit of them using your money. And so that's the next thing that we lose our a portion of our take-home pay, and we also lose the opportunity costs. And then the third cut is what I would call, it's just interest on debt that we pay to banks. So because of the fact that a third of our income is taken in the form of taxes, then a lot of people get into debt to maintain a certain lifestyle, and then you're paying interest on that. And so what you have to do in order to reduce this pattern and take back control and, I guess turn the table, so to speak, the first thing that you need to do is you need to inject some major cash flow into your income. And cash flow is the lifeblood of all of your finances. If you don't have significant cash flow or freed up cash flow to do other things, you're basically stuck, because everything that you're bringing in goes out the door. And so the technique that I use to jumpstart my financial fitness and increase my cash flow is, I looked at a lot of people, when you first get your job, we fill out the W-4 form and we kind of guess at what our deductions will be. And so you turn it in, and most people never look at that form again until they get their next job and they fill out another one. And so when we fill out that form, we typically fill it out the wrong way. And we're so afraid of owing anything at the end of the year that we allow the government to take too much money out of our paycheck. Now, I'm definitely don't feel that you want to have too little taken out. You definitely want to have enough taken out so that you don't owe the government anything. But at the same time, you don't want to have too much taken out to reduce the lifeblood of your finances and reduce your ability to start creating a passive income for yourself. And there are certain steps that you need to do that. You want to capture that cash flow back, that lifeblood back into your budget, so that you can start doing some of the things that you need to do to lay the foundation so that you can build from there. And so I call that jumpstarting your financial fitness by increasing cash flow. And so the technique that I use, a strategy that I use in terms of adjusting my W-4, and this is a technique and a strategy that a lot of people do and that are doing right now. When you do this the right way, you can increase your take-home pay anywhere from $350 to $600 a month. I personally added $350 back to my cash flow. I was on the lower end. A lot of people are more like in the middle, but it was still fine because I was able to do some things that I really need to do to jumpstart my finances. And so if you don't have, what I suggest is, if you don't have one already, you would take that money, add or create your emergency fund of at least $1,000. That is way less than the 3 to 6 months that is recommended. But if you don't have anything, you want to have at least that amount to serve as a cushion, because life happens. And so you don't want to start your financial fitness journey and then something happens, you need to get a car repair or have to go to the doctor and pay a copay or something like that, something unexpected, and you have no buffer. You have to stop your program, stop your discipline and of saving and investing and all of that, because you had an expense that you weren't prepared for. So you want to have at least $1,000 in an emergency fund. Then the next step is to start the debt snowball to eliminate your debt and your interest expenses. And I can do another video on this, but a debt snowball is when you take a lump sum of money. Some people start with 500, some people start with 1,000, and they start paying off debt. And you can do it in a way where once you get the snowball started, you don't have to add to it. So that's why I say to start your debt snowball. So once you get it started, there's a strategy that you use to keep ramping that up until you're out of debt. You don't have to keep just plowing all of your cash flow into that debt snowball. And then the third thing that you want to do is you want to take that increased cash flow and start a small home base or small business, so that you can start capturing some of those tax deductions that small business owners get. And when I talk about tax deductions, I'm talking about things that you already use. You can write off a portion of your electrical expenses, your cell phone, your internet connection. You can write off mileage. I mean, all these things, those are just some of the things that off the top of my head that I can think of that I've used with my small home-based business. I've been able to take deductions to reduce my tax liability. So I still I've still been in a position where I've still gotten a refund at the end of the year, but it wasn't because I was allowing the government to have too much of my money during the year. It was because I had tax deductions that I had taken when I completed my taxes. And there are apps that you can use that will help you keep track of that information. So that's the gist of what I wanted to share with you all tonight. I wanted to share the biggest strategy, the first strategy that I used that enabled me to increase my cash flow without, this is a technique and strategy that you can use where you don't have to sell anything. You don't have to get in, of course, you're not going to get into any more debt, and you don't have to stop buying the things that you're already buying. And so that's pretty much all that I had for tonight. I wanted to share this with you because it's very important. The last thing I wanted to say is that when you're correcting your W-4, this is definitely not something that you want to do on your own. You definitely want to consult a tax professional that understands how this works, because what you don't want to do is end up where you don't have enough taken out at the end of the year and you're owing money. So you definitely want to have a tax professional that knows what they're doing, take care of this. And if you need, I can let you know the source that I use to have this done. When I had it done, I had a tax professional that did this for me. And I have a degree in finance, but I'm not a tax expert. And so I definitely did not feel comfortable doing that, because I didn't want to, I did not want to have a big bill at the end of the year at tax time. I want to just easily either break even or have a small refund as a result of my business expense deductions that I was able to take. And that's another thing that a tax professional can help you with. And again, I have references, I have referrals that I can share with you if you want that information. But that's all I have for tonight. If you're watching this on a replay, I hope that this was beneficial to you. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions about your personal situation and how you can get started and what you need to do. And I'll be happy to go over all this with you. And again, my name is Rhonette Jemison with Freedom and Passive Income. And I really appreciate you watching this and gleaning some additional information that I feel that can help you. And all the best to your success.